Shades of Deceit, written by Roger Trow, narrated by Bernadette Homerski. David turned aside from the sidewalk and entered the park. The entrance fee these days was $50 to keep the riffraff out, but he felt that it was money well spent. Once inside the gate, it was like entering a time warp. No intelligent machine to pester one, and everybody was on foot. There were even people exercising dogs and horses. It seemed to him unusual that so many had found the time to escape their offices, it being a working day. David decided to approach the newspaper vendor, who sold paper publications and holovids from his stand situated near the gate. He said, "Hi, buddy. What's not in the news today?" It was a common expression, but it had a grain of truth in it. The vendor looked at him carefully, checking him out, and then he looked around and about them, checking for spy bugs, David supposed. "Are you American?" he asked. David nodded silently. "Okay, you can't be too careful these days. You must have been out of town. The cops have had a clampdown on this morning. Didn't you notice the hovers? They're all over the city this morning. Some of those wreckers have been at it again. They blew up the east side of the New Lincoln Tunnel in the middle of the night. Fortunately, there were no casualties. But traffic is backed up as far as the New Jersey Turnpike, and there seems to be gridlock all through the city this morning. That's the second time they've hit the tunnel. Makes you want to avoid enclosed spaces, doesn't it, bud?" David replied, "Yes, you're right. At least if it was in the news, you'd know to avoid the bottlenecks. I thank God I don't have to battle my way through the aerial roads and tunnels every day. You know, I commute down from Toronto these days. We have our problems in the provinces too, though. Can you believe it? There are some people who want to turn the clock back, go back to the old three-country system again. But it's too late for that. We're one country now. Call it a federation if you want. It ain't perfect, but the Union of the Americas is here to stay. Still, it does make you wonder where they will strike next. Who knows? Maybe they will strike at the commuter lines next." "Too true," the vendor agreed. "But be careful what you say in public, pal, especially around here. There are some scumbags that will turn you into the cops and swear that you're one of those wreckers just to get a few credits. They'd sell out their own mothers, they would." David nodded again, grateful for the reminder. That guy had his ear to the ground, all right, and from David's private sources he knew that things were falling apart about their ears. The Union of the Americas was not so united, or so it seemed. In every city, wreckers were testing the resolve of the federal government, and they were getting ever bolder. This had cost the Union a fortune in lost production, and the industrial powers were very unhappy. The bombings had provoked a backlash of repression, and in the name of security, the cops were picking up anyone who even voiced dissent publicly. It had done little to stem the upsurge of violence, but Ben Tyler had found no fresh ideas to solve the problems of maintaining a police state across the Americas. Now there were spy bugs everywhere. Some you could see, but others were passive until activated by a voice or the thermal heat signature of a human being's proximity, say on a public bench or a railroad platform kiosk. David wondered privately what had happened to the land of the brave and the home of the free. He walked down the path leading from the gate. Maybe he would have enough time to visit the new pavilion of native culture. He had read that it was worth a visit. Walkers and joggers who passed him by exercised vigorously, but he chose a sedate place and enjoyed a rare beam of sunshine that had found its way between the towering blocks of Manhattan Center and Chelsea Center. It was warm in the sun, and the spring flowers were blooming already along the path. Some lovers strolled hand in hand, oblivious to the stares of those prudes who disapproved of public shows of affection in these ways. The powers that be had decreed that kissing in public, or for unmarried couples to hold hands, was corrupting the morals of the Union of the Americas, and the cops on patrol in Central Park were supposed to break up the couples if they witnessed such un-American behavior. But they rarely bothered to intrude upon this brief moment of happiness. Overhead in the trees the pigeons had no such inhibitions, and with spring in the air they were mating whenever they had the opportunity. In between their
Sample complete. Ready to continue?